Morning, guys. Anybody can hear me? What's up, William? Just another Sunday morning. Plans got canceled. Wife took the kids, so I had some time. I thought I'd just throw up a live video. Didn't know if anybody show up, but I don't know if you guys have kept these Trimax before, but it's kind of ridiculous how frequently they spawn. I just introduced that male's female back with them on the right, and they have eggs already. It's a big pot full. It's out of control. I think I've gotten maybe 6 spawns from the species since I've kept them only about 2 to 3 months. If you ever want fry for feeders or whatever, Trimax, that's one option. Thanks, William. Yeah, I'm enjoying the Trimax right now. See if I can move in here. Female's just sitting on a pot of eggs right now. Maybe I'll feed these guys. Hey, Joseph. I'm feeding them Otohini. It's a pellet that I think you pretty much have to buy in bulk only. My buddy got me onto it years ago, and ends up it used to be, I think, better ingredients in there. However, it's as far as buying bulk, it's pretty cost effective. I think 50 pounds you have to buy minimum. I think that's like 120, 130 bucks. So definitely lasts me a while. But fish like it, especially these Trimax. So and this male will just keep on eating. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the male on the left side. I'm trying to I'm trying to get him to get bigger, real solid profile, kind of like this male over here on the right. That male was spawning left and right with his female, and then I gave him a break. So little hungry Trimax. What was your question? I think Zabar, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. What are you using for Siphon in the tank? I actually use a couple different methods. As you can tell, this tank has a lot of poop in it right now. It's on my list today to do. I use like a little 6-foot siphon. I still do the gravity into buckets just for a little bit to get you know, the gravel vac and to get the poop that's sitting on top of the sand and whatnot. But for my big water changes, I'll use a circulation pump. It's, I think, 365 gallons per hour. It makes a lot of noise, but it gets the water out really, really fast. And I used to, you know, use pythons. So I started with one python. This is when I had less tanks. And, you know, I would start with one python, and then I got another one because I needed the water change to go faster. And then I think at one point I had 4 of those long 50-foot python water changes, you know, with the gravity. And then I found the circulation pump. You know, I have a little hose in the sink inside here. And yeah, I know. I realized time difference. Thanks, JD. It's morning over here in California. We're the laggers here, and I'm definitely a lagger with I get up usually around 8:30 and 9 o'clock California time, so definitely later than most people. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So then I switched to the the circulation pump. 365 GPH and gets the water out really quick. And so then the bottleneck was the filling of the tanks when I do all these water changes in 20 something tanks. You know, I mean, I enjoy water changes, but you know, I do them once a week, and so I just got to get through them, you know. And so then the one hose that I have to the sink inside the garage here just does not fill fast enough. So I run another hose from outside to fill up, and that's obviously just cold water, no heat. And so then the one inside, I'm usually, especially during the winter, the inside one, I'm using mostly hotter water to balance it out. And so yeah, it allows me to get my I think 23 water changes, 23 tanks water changes I can finish in 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours, if I'm not sitting there cleaning sponge filters, cleaning hang on the backs and doing extra stuff. If I'm just doing water changes, some gravel vacs in between into the buckets, I can get them done pretty quickly. So seems to work pretty good for me. But especially considering I don't have an automatic water change system like some people do. I do it the old school way. So let's see. Yeah, it's 1 in the afternoon. So you guys already ate lunch over there in New York. I just finished breakfast, just having a coffee, looking at some cichlids, guys. I had plans of doing something today. It got canceled, and the family's gone. So I said, hey, I got some time. Throw up a live session while I'm hanging out with the cichlids. So And if you just signed on, I just reintroduced this female again to the larger male, and she's got eggs already. The whole pot is full with eggs. It's crazy how these things spawn. Trimax don't mess around, don't waste any time, just add water basically. Of course, the aggression thing is always something you got to worry about, but yeah, it's pretty good. I wish these live things the comments would stay on. All right, as a bar, it's 10:44 here in India, and your voice is good. Thanks, man. 10:44. All right, so is that PM or AM, or is it operate on military time? Excuse my ignorance. Joseph, is there any egg in the pot? Yeah, definitely eggs in the pot. I'm trying to get up here close to you guys. I don't know if you can see that. The pot has a lot of eggs in there basically. And I just reintroduced them, I think 4 or 5 days ago, and already back at it. I got, instead of the last live session, where it was daylight, I'm doing I got the garage closed and the lights off, but then tank lights on. I got like 3 tanks with their lights on, so I could switch around to those if you guys want to see. I got the the multifasciatus, and then I also got the Carpentis tank lights on. So speak up if you want me to switch tanks. Zabar says it's PM. All right, so you're getting close to going to sleep over there. Answer your question on the siphons. Thanks, Joseph. I do my best with the cichlids I keep, try to always take the best care as possible. Obviously I can do better, but try to keep them as best as I can. Let me know if you guys want to move to a different tank, or if you guys just want to keep watching the Trimax. Joseph wants to see the Carpentis? Sure. Let's go move over there. All right, bear with me. All the way over here. All right, let me adjust this here. So I decided to make some changes on the Carpentis tank. I think 1 or 2 suggested the idea of switching up, removing females and just making a male-only tank. Obviously the males, every male in here except for the most dominant one, which is all the way on the left, you know, they're always getting a little tattered up, fighting over females, and so I think I'm definitely gonna try that. I'll take, and most of the females are all really much smaller than the males. They're all like that 5-inch range. So I think I'm going to throw them in with some Synspillum, bigger Synspillum, see how they do. And then just have the male community going on. I think there'll be a lot less fighting. The fish will look nicer. They won't have the torn up fins and whatnot. So I'm definitely going to give that a shot and see if it majorly tones down their aggression and gets them looking nicer. And if I ever need to breed, I'll figure that one out. Not sure if I'd pull a male and introduce with a female in like a 75-gallon tank or something. Not really sure, but yeah, we'll figure that one out when we get to it. And again, these live videos really take away from the you know, the colors of the fish and whatnot, so it's just not showing very well. But I'll have to do some of my individual videos so you guys can appreciate the quality of these. Of course, a lot of them a little beat up right now. Let's try to get in close, guys. So that male over here, he kind of just hangs out in that pot with the female, and he's the only one who's not really tattered up, as you can tell. He's the dominant male, so tank boss for sure. Hey, Ethan. How you doing, man? Oh no, Ethan said he's got some internal parasites in one of his tanks. What species has those issues right now, Ethan? Rainbow cichlids. Male and female are flashing and the male hasn't been eating for weeks. Yeah, I mean, I feel for you there. I mean, everybody I think has had that issue one time or many times in the past. Herbal. So you said you're dosing herbal medication, but it's not doing much. What kind of herbal medication? And Legend Fish Tanks. How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Legend. These are the Escondido carpentis. I think the common name is maybe Blue Texas, and they're obviously not coming in very blue through this live video that degrades the quality. So I have tons of video in the past you can check those out. They look much different outside of the live video. Ethan said it's called Herbatana. Huh, I've never heard of that one. You know, for internal stuff, Ethan, I don't know if you're asking what I would use. I'm not really good at identifying exactly which internal issue fish have. I kind of use a broad spectrum, multiple different medications. You know, I think if you followed some of my Stalsbergy history, these wild caughts, you know, I've had some issues with them, you know, and you know, when I thought it was just dealing with some kind of internal parasite, I treated with a wide range of meds, such as Prazipro is kind of the go-to. Metronidazole, even have that in a flake from Ken's Fish. I have Levamisole, and Levamisole is also in a flake that I got. I could show that flake food later. And that flake food I think also has garlic in there, which is supposed to be good for their stomachs. And then I also have, I believe it's fenbenzidol, and I'm probably saying all these meds wrong, but those are the, I guess, 4 I might treat if I see some issues internally. You know, the ones that you'll have to feed, the flake ones, obviously your fish isn't eating, so you might have to treat the whole tank, or you might want to do some salt baths to expel whatever's in there, or possibly using a pipette or a syringe and getting those meds inside the stomach of the fish. I've only tried that a few times. I'm not a fan of it, but might be something good to look into. I hope you can get rid of that. Yeah, Joseph also said to try metronidazole. It's a good, it's probably one of the ones you always want to keep in your tanks for stuff like that, and or not in your tanks, I'm sorry, in your fish room, just in case. And so usually I'll throw that in with my normal quarantine, so it's pretty common to use that. Yeah, Ethan said I got some NLS Thera A with extra garlic. Yeah, I think I have the Thera A pellets as well. I even have this flake from NLS that has garlic in it that I was using for my Stalsbergy, so I don't know. Definitely stuff to try. Garlic's supposed to get them interested in taking the food, right? So yeah, look into the salt baths. Yeah, I tried to do a schedule, the live session ahead of time, and I was unsuccessful. I scheduled it out for, I think it was 9:50 this morning, and that was about 15 minutes ahead. And then I exited, and I tried to go back in and find how I start or be ready for the countdown, and I could not find it, so I had to cancel that live video, and I just set up another one. So if anybody knows how to do that properly, please feel free to let me know. It's kind of frustrating. Yeah, good information there, Joseph. Yeah, I did the salt baths on my wild-caught Stalsbergy for a whole week when I noticed the white stringy poops. And, you know, they went from kind of big eaters before with the flake and stuff to very picky eaters. So, and they have not changed. It's been months. So just another, I guess, a caution there. I don't know if it's gonna be the same with every species, but yeah, I did that on my Stahlsbergia, and it didn't help their appetite at all. Oh, we got some new people in here. Alamo Cichlid Fish Keeper. Welcome, bud. Thanks for stopping by. Says, love your tanks. Excited to see what the future holds. Thank you, man. Yeah, and I'm excited to see when this future is going to come. I think I've mentioned before, just waiting on some species. Got a buddy or two that's just incredibly busy, and I've had these tanks open, and it almost feels like I have no fish right now. Very few that I can at least make videos of. So I'm definitely, more than anyone, excited to finally get some new species here. We'll see. Mad Gonzalez, hey bud, thanks for stopping by, and thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. Just trying to do what's right with my cichlids, best for them. And I think I mentioned when I just came over here to the Carpentis, the males are always kind of fighting, tattered up. Their fins are, somewhat shredded, some more than others, except for the dominant male on the left. You can see he's not messed up at all. I think I'm gonna take some advice that a few people have given and change this 180 gallon to all male tank. So most of the females are all these smaller, 5-inch, so it should be easy to identify majority of them. Hopefully there's not a straggler female that's the same size as the males. It's hard for me to judge sex on these sometimes without venting, and so I'm gonna probably make that change, and hopefully the mood will be a little bit more mild and less fighting over females in here, because I think a lot of them have some really good potential. As long as I get them to stop beating each other up so much, and of course the females are not messed up really. They're all looking fine. So go figure. The males are always beating each other up. The females are pretty cool. Just Ethan said you could also make a post in MFK. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and I posted. I think I posted MFK in their central Cichlids forum for the updated videos, and then of course if you guys, I move fish through their what's it called, the buy sell forum. So yeah, maybe I should add the videos ahead, the live videos there. Ooh, Alamo City Fish Keeper said he's getting Mesoheros jaffirum this Friday. Congratulations! Those are an amazing species, incredibly beautiful. What size are you getting? I guess I would be curious. From my experience, I started 6-7 years ago. I started with 1-inchers, and they are the slowest growing species that I've kept. Nothing even comes close, not even Gramotes for me. It was hard, having the patience to grow them out, was really tough for me. I had a group of 7 1-inchers, and I eventually just threw them in a bottom tank because they were growing so slow. And maybe 3 years in, they were only 2 to 4 inches. The biggest 1 or 2 were 4 inches, and the smallest were 2 inches. So probably an average size of 3 inches. Maybe I was doing something wrong growing them out, but I've been doing the same thing with all my other cichlids. And then I contemplating getting rid of them at one point. I threw them in with my Feste grow outs, and they actually did really, really well in there. They started growing faster. They colored up, And so I said, thank God I didn't get rid of them, and I kept them, moved them to their own 180-gallon tank. And I think you can check some of my older videos. You'll see them growing, you know, from like 4 inches all the way up to my pair when I got rid of them was about 10 or 11 inches. My buddy has them now. So beautiful species. If you like Mesoheros, Atromaculatum, or Feste, I think you'll love the Gephyrum. Just hopefully you got them maybe at a good starting size. Maybe I would definitely say 3 to 4 inches would be what you want to start with, unless you have just an incredible amount of patience, unlike what I struggle with. So that's pretty cool. I'd love to see updates on those. Let's go through here. Dwight's back. How you doing, Dwight? Always count on Dwight to show up. Appreciate it. Oh, Terry's in here. What's up, Terry? F1 Stalsberger are starting to take broken up pellets. Oh, wow. Half that and half flake at this point. Just added some dithers as they were getting pretty shy in the bigger tank. Yeah, Terry, on the Stalsberger guys, the F1s that I have, I still do have some from that original batch. Also have another batch. You know, I was feeding them flake the whole time. It looks like Terry's got them on some pellet food, which is great. And then as far as dithers, Terry, I mean, you see mine. I have silver dollars almost with all my species, but I really like the silver dollar approach. The Stalsbergy, the wilds, you know, I've tried Buenos Aires tetras and silver dollars, and most of my Buenos Aires tetras with them got picked off, even with smaller Stalsbergy in the 3 to 5 inch range. Silver dollars just have been rock solid, so I don't think you can go wrong with silver dollars. I just use the standard ones, and I have some silver dollars that I've had for 6 or 7 years. At one point, some of the big ones were with Umbies. They're just tanks, you know. They just take a licking and keep on ticking. But that's cool, Terry. Thanks for the update there. So, Joseph, you're asking what size can you start sexing them at? I'm guessing you're talking about the Gephyrum. You know, the Gephyrum sexing was really tricky for me. You know, I just observing. I've even tried to vent when I thought I had all females. I was trying to get more males, and my buddy and I would try to vent. You know, 5-6 inches, and we got that wrong multiple times. I think the easiest way with the Gephyrum that I've noticed is the freckling. Once they get to the 5 to 6 inch range in a group, and you start to see some somewhat pairing or differences occurring, I think the males kept their freckling on their face, while the females they'd disappear. But before that size, it's incredibly difficult, in my opinion. I'm not sure if anybody else has a different experience and they can share those secrets or tricks. But yeah, Gephyrum are tough in general, in my opinion. Kevin, Kentucky. How you doing, man? Ken's makes, a metronidazole food that works well. Fish are eating it. Yeah, I have that. That's part of my quarantine regimen and sick fish regimen. That's good stuff. The Ken's flake, I definitely use, I think, 3 different varieties of their flake. You know, you got the medicated with the Metro. I use the premium Cichlid, which I think has probiotics, which you know, I think is important in some sensitive species like the Stalsbergy. I don't know if Terry, if you've had to use that for the F1s, any probiotic flake or foods. You know, I had hoped, and I've been told that the F1 Stalsbergie will probably be stronger than the parents, and hopefully have none of the stomach issues that I've experienced with the Wildcats. So Terry, maybe you can share what your experience has been, and if you feed any probiotic foods or garlic foods. Maybe it's not necessary. I don't know. Alamo City said size of 2.5 to 3 inches. Oh, okay, that's for the Japhirum. Yeah, that's a good size, I think. You're skipping a year and a half, maybe 2 years of growth, which is going to be the toughest part. So nice starting size. I'm guessing they're Wildcats. You almost never see anybody breed Japhirums. I only know of one guy who has done it successfully a few times, and I just could not get the job done. Actually, they spawned. I had 2 different pairs spawn once each over the 6 years, and I didn't pull fry. I saw fry once. I didn't pull them. I just figured the growth rate on that species, I'm not going to even bother trying to grow them out. Plus, it seems pretty common. You can get Wildcats in the hobby. People bringing them in. So, yeah, it wasn't on my list to grow out Japhirum fry. So I skipped that. Dwight said Max bought all of Kevin's Mesoheros. They were 2.5 inches. Need different water, coolers, slow guards. Oh wow! So Max got all of the Japhirums from Kevin. Maybe he's planning to get a breeder colony. I'm guessing. I don't know. That's pretty cool. Hopefully Max can successfully spawn them. If anybody, Max would probably be the guy. I mean, that guy spawns everything. Tuba when most people can't. So that's pretty cool. Oh, intelligent counter spell. How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping by. Terry said, I haven't real good luck so far. Oh, you have? Okay, you've had real good luck so far. Fingers crossed. That's cool. All good for you, man. Yeah, I was gonna grow out some of the F1 Stalsbergie and see how they do. You know, I have 2 groups of the Wildcats, and I think I'm gonna try to get down to 1, and then I want to grow some of the F1s out to see if there's any big differences. You know, but Terry says weekly water changes. Yep. Yeah, no need for meds foods yet. That's good. Good news, Terry. I'm gonna move to a different tank here, guys. I know people are coming in and going out, and I think I mentioned in the beginning, I have 3 tanks that have lights on, so I'll just rotate between the 3, and let's do that. Here we go. Take my coffee with me. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this guy to... This guy's a little shy right now. All right. So just the multifasciatus, which, as you guys know, I brought him up to the top tank because I got a lot of tank space right now, because I mentioned I'm waiting for multiple species, but these guys get the big 150 for a little bit, so I move them back down to the 100. Ethan said, one day I want to fill 180 with a bunch of different convict males with best genetics. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, convicts are cool, man. That's where, I think convicts are where it started for most people, at least me. It was Oscars, convicts, and that's where, and the convicts, obviously, with the breeding, that's where you get interest in that part of the hobby. That was pretty fun. So never forget the convict. Let's see the female. This female is incredibly aggressive right now, the multifasciatus. She's guarding her fry up here. Anyways, see if I can get this male to flare up at you guys. I don't know why he's all shy right now. We're gonna go back to the Trimax if this guy doesn't wake up. How do I get my comments on here? All right. Let's see. Alamo City said, any problems with silver dollars nipping fins of your cichlids? Have some tiger silver dollars growing out in the 75 with my adult female green terror, and they tend to nip a bit on the dorsal. You know, I don't think I've seen that happen. Actually, I can't remember a time where I've noticed that. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I'm not sure if the tiger silver dollars, maybe they have a slightly different personality or aggressiveness to them. All my silver dollars are basically the standard ones, and I don't notice any aggression. If anything, it's just them, you know, somewhat being chased by the cichlids, than doing their jobs. So. So Ethan said it started with convicts and it will end with convicts. I'm still obsessed with them. That's great, man. It's always cool to have your species that you loved, get back into them you started with, and yeah, there's certain species that you just find, and I think you just end up wanting them and always having to keep them. I think for me, you know, I had the Oscar thing growing up when I was like 10 years old, and you know, have him next to you in your bedroom and you wake up and he's just begging for food. Man, the Oscar's awesome. I definitely have to get into Oscars again someday. And of course the convicts with the breeding was, man, it was so neat to see that first spawn and got little fry and you would just want to keep them alive. I love that. So. I understand. Yeah, this male, Freddy, is acting very shy right now. I think this female is keeping him over on the left side of the tank somewhat. It's a 150, so it's got plenty of space, but she's so aggressive right now, guarding her fry in the breeder box, that he's not able to, you know, she's not getting beat up or anything, but let's see if he comes around. If not, let's move back to the Trimax. Let's move back. Trimax are not shy, are they? Oh. Anybody doing water changes today? Or it might be nighttime for some, right? Yeah, Ethan, yeah, you could say that again. This male on the right especially, he just, man, he grew fast. I was feeding him a few pellets in the beginning of this video, and I think he just never stops eating the pellets. I mean, I have to be reserved on how much I feed him, because he'll just keep on eating. I want this male on the left here to grow a little, to start picking up some size. Believe it or not, this guy I think was the same size as the other male originally. He's got some really nice teardrop patterns under his eyes. If he'll turn to the side. So for that reason, you know, I wanted to keep him as a second male. Finally get to see him without his. It's been in non-stop breeding mode with that female who I divided. I took her out of the tank and given this other male a chance at breeding. And he's not really in his breeding dress. And he's got a little bit stripe patterns, but female has a ton of eggs in that pot. I don't know if you could see it. She is guarding eggs like they do every 2 weeks. It's non-stop. And I'll get a pellet or two for you guys. See if they want to eat again. Actually, that's a dumb question. Cichlids Unleashed. What's up, man? I think you were in the last live video. Appreciate you stopping by again. Favorite species? I think, yeah, it would have to be the Feste. I mean, you can't argue with when a quarter of a third of my tanks are just filled with Feste. It's hard to put anything above that. You know, otherwise I wouldn't be doing that. It definitely takes away from keeping other species when you got, I mean, before I got rid of my big pair, I had a big Rio Esmeraldas pair in that 150, and I had 4 pairs of them basically, and now I'm down to the 3 wild-caught pairs from Rio Gaius, which I want to focus on going forward. And still, that's, you know, I'd like to free up one of those eventually. I'm just trying to find a pair that's more consistent with breeding. All 3 of them bred around the same time, and they had their first batch of fry. I'm growing them out, but I would like to see more, you know, more consistency and a little bit more the pair to get along. Only one of the pairs gets along really well. My biggest male has to have 3 females and 4 silver dollars just to not go crazy on everyone, and then the third pair is, you know, the males goes after the female a little bit. So yep, Feste would probably be it for me. What about you guys? What's everyone's favorite cichlid right now? go ahead and comment. Yeah, Ethan, definitely seems like yesterday these Trimax just grew incredibly fast. I'm not sure if they plateau at a point or what, but not so far. Oh, hey Jay Feste, what's up, man? Yeah, Jay Feste, I bet you Jay's favorite species. Am I right, Jay? Is it Feste as well? Someone just asked me if mine was, what mine was. I think it's, for me, just my opinion, when you have a pair of adult Feste, it just, you know, the female with how red they can get in the bars, and the male who can get gold yellowish. It's hard to argue as far as beauty. Of course, personality with Feste, I mean, they're a little skittish in my experience. Use the silver dollars and the community thing to help them a little bit, but yeah, I love the Feste for sure. Joseph said for him, Firemouth were my cichlids, and since then I will always have something for him. Yeah, no, I agree. The Firemouths, you know, I only have one of those right now with the Viejas that I have, and it's pretty entertaining watching him try to run the whole tank of fish much bigger than him, flaring up at other fish. I got to do a Therictis community tank, and Firemouths will definitely be included in there. That's definitely on my list to do. I love watching that, you know, even when you have multiple pairs and flaring up, and I watch a lot of those videos on YouTube. It's great. I'd probably do some other Therictis species, maybe I love the Macula pinus, a little skittish unless you get a group, it seems. I love the Passiones, you know, the yellow variant, the yellow version. Yeah, definitely do something really interesting with the Therictis. So definitely on the to-do list. Alamo City said, love my Trichopolis marimbo. Yeah, cool, man. I to be honest, I can't even picture that fish right now. I would have to go look those up. But it's cool. Everybody's got their own, you know, their own preference and their own species that they absolutely love. So that's isn't that awesome? There's so many to choose from rather than just a few. Jay Feste said, you already know. I would have been getting fish from you if I was still on the West Coast. Yeah, no worries, man. I do ship. You know, it's getting tiresome, but I do ship almost every Monday. And so if you're ever in the market to get some fry, mostly fry is what I have. I haven't been able to keep a lot of the bigger ones or grow them out to large sizes. But yeah, hit me up, man. Let me know. Joseph said he's running a tank of Firemouth and Elliot, which is, I believe, the new Macula pinus. Yeah, that seems like a fun tank. Do you use any dithers, any tetras, or anything top water in there, Joseph? Or is it just those two species? Big Fish Lad. How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. You guys ever check out Big Fish Lad's YouTube channel? He does some good stuff over there. Check him out. We got to get him to do some live video too. One of these days. I just started, so who am I to talk? But Joseph said, I wonder if they end up hybridizing or something. Yeah, the Firemouths and the Elliots. Oh, that could be interesting. I don't know. I've never experienced that myself. I've actually never hybridized anything except for a long, long time ago on accident. I had convicts, of course, and Nicaraguensis, which I love those things, man. I got to get into them again. Those hybridized, so imagine that. It's just a real funky looking species. I think some of them made it to 2 to 3 inches. Anyways, that was back when I didn't, I didn't care so much. Now I keep mine mostly in species only kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure if those Tharictus will hybridize or not. Ooh, Mike, MK Cichlids, what's up, man? Mike has to go with Dovi for being his favorite. Yeah, Dovi, man, that's a lot of people say that's the king of the New World Cichlids, right? I mean, some people argue the Umbi, but obviously I think the Dovi gets bigger. And man, the aggression of the Dovi, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And now they got that red Dovi in the hobby as of the past year or so. Yeah, it's definitely something. I have never done a Dovi. I don't know if I have a tank. I don't have any tanks big enough, obviously. My own preference is not to do an Umbi in my tanks right now, and because my biggest is only a 240 gallon. And then once that Umbi, which grows extremely fast, because I've had it in the past, grows extremely fast, almost got 18 inches in less than 2 years from a fry. I just said, hey, there's no way I'm keeping this thing in my 240 long term. With only a width of 24 inches, that Umbi gets 20 inches plus. It's just, for me, my preference was not to do that, so I got rid of them. But I sound like a broken record. I keep talking about my bigger tank that I'm just waiting patiently to hopefully find a used one available. That tank hopefully will be 36 inches front to back, so that will allow me to do the Umbi, I think, and I can't wait to do that. Can't wait to get the tank. One of 2 dream tanks, so hopefully sometime this year, the way that's going. Yeah, let's see here. Mike said, to me, the colors are just incredible on a mature pair. Yeah, that. And again, I mean, some of us watch Guapote Mel and the monster Dovi he's had in the past in his, I forgot what tank he grows them out in, 1,000 gallon? I don't even know. It's crazy. I would love to see that in person, because obviously I think the video that are on there aren't the highest quality video, and so you could just imagine how beautiful those Dovi look. He also does Umbis, I think, too, right? So Jay said he's into the true parrots at the moment. He wants to bring these fish back. See so very few these days. Very mild-mannered fish. Yeah, that's definitely something that's on my list to keep someday. I've heard that they're tough to breed, so that would be, I guess, a pretty big accomplishment if you got them to spawn, Jay. How big are they right now? And do you have any recent video of yours? I'd love to go check those out. I'm not sure if they're on your channel or what, but yeah, let me know how those are going. I've never kept them. Big Fish Lad, how's your Trimac doing, man? I know you got one from Max, right? The what is it, Rio Niltepec, and then you got the female from Cichlids of the Americas, Rio Sarabia. I think I saw that update recently, but they're looking good. Wonder how you liking them. Let's feed this guy here. This guy is hungry as well. Ate a couple pellets. Breakfast or brunch for these guys. Daniel Parquet, man, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Daniel says, how often do you do water changes, and how long does it take with all those tanks? Yeah, so I do my water changes weekly. Is the standard weekly water change for every tank. There are some for various reasons that I will do more frequently. For example, these Trimacs, I was really trying to get them to grow, and they eat a little bit more than most of my fish. I've been feeding these guys, and they just never stop. They're only in a 90 gallon right now. So yeah, I do the once a week. I think about 60% on this tank. And then I do about 2 extra water changes where I just gravel back maybe 15 gallons of water and get all the crap on the bottom. So they get extra water changes. Some of my Stahlsbergie, especially the fry, I'll do, instead of a big water change, I'll do multiple minor water changes, just to keep the water, not a big shocking water change to them. Because with the wild caughts, they have been a little more sensitive for me, and so I'm taking extra caution with the fry there. No, but most of them it'll be a weekly water change. My ponds outside, I think I'm going to do a pond update this week. My ponds outside, they only get maybe once every 1 or 2 months they'll get a water change. You'll see in the update that the Braziliensis pair, which is like 4 and 6 inches, they have a 300 gallon tank or pond, and so they are obviously not needing the weekly water changes or that frequent. I don't feed them incredibly, and I've even tested that pond with over and over, and everything was at 0. I think the TDS is the only thing you got to worry about doing some water changes, but I'm more of getting rid of the algae, because I've had algae outside. When it blooms, pH will spike for me over 10.0. It goes off the chart of my water test. That's more of my concern, and so yeah, I'll do water changes, but removing algae and stuff. I think you asked how long it takes me. I use a different method than I did in the beginning. I don't do gravity to remove most of my water. I'll use a circulation pump, which is like 365 gallon circulation pump, or transfer pump, I think it's called. And I hook that to a hose, and it goes into the sink in the garage. That thing gets water out pretty quick. that what I was doing before that was like 4 Python hoses, 50-foot Python hoses. It was just, the setup was incredibly difficult, time consuming, and so I'm using the circulation pump, and it's been really good. I can get all my 20 something tanks done in about 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. That's if I'm not doing extra stuff like cleaning sponge filters or cleaning hang on the backs or netting fish, moving fish, like that kind of stuff, changing substrate out. I mean, that stuff takes extra time, but if I'm just doing the water changes, some gravel vacs into buckets in between the water changes, yeah, I could get it done in around 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And so I think that's pretty darn efficient for what it could take, you know. So, and a lot of the tanks are not, you know, half of them are decent size, you know, 240, 180, 150, couple 120s, a couple 100 gallons, 75s, and so it's definitely a lot of water to take out, and I do the buckets in between also because I feel I tried to hook up the transfer pump to a siphon, and it just sucks out too fast that sometimes I screw up and it'll suck gravel through it, or obviously sand will just suck that right up. And so and if gravel goes through that circulation or that transfer pump, it just screws it up. It's done. It just kind of breaks essentially. And so I only use that for the water, and then I do the 6-foot Python into buckets for the gravel vac to get more of the crap out of the substrate. And then you know, I'll show it at some point. I grow a lot of stuff in the backyard. You know, it's tomato season and strawberries, and then even in the off season, I have avocado plants, and you know, that fish poop water, I'm just guessing, I think it's pretty good for growing plants. It's done well for me, so I usually like to throw that fish poop water out into my garden, and so it has been working pretty good for me, that method. Let's see, how off, okay. Big Fish Lad, yes. Maybe one day we could do a live together. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'm terrible. I told everybody that I had originally scheduled this live video ahead to try to, you know, notify people that there is going to be a live video, and for whatever reason, you know, it was 15 minutes out, you know, and I said I'm going to go get my coffee, and I tried to turn on my phone and figure out how I get in there, and I couldn't get into the live video myself, and so I had to delete it and start another one just right away. So I'm, you know, hopefully you could figure it out. I'm not very good with this live video stuff right now, obviously. Just learning. The Don's back. Hey bud, welcome back. Don was in the last live chat. Big Fish Lad said, doing good, mate, and spot on with the catch locations. Yes, I love the Trimac. Want my mail to fill out. Yeah, and he's referring to the Trimacs, of course. If you guys go check out his channel, he's got 2 different collection points than the Trimacs I got. Mine are Rio Naranjo F1s, which I got from my buddy, and the parents were imported by Mr. Jeff Rapps, and you know, I started with this collection point because you know, I think I've read that they get a little stockier, a little taller profile maybe. Obviously this guy on the left is not a prime example of that, but the guy on the right, and it's hard to see in these live videos because the quality is just kind of crappy, but the guy on the right is really beefed up, and he's like, if I had to guess size, I'd say 6 to 7 inches. I think he's going to have a lot of development going forward, and he loves flaring up with his brother over there. The Don said, thanks man, Trimex looking so good. Yeah, these are fun species. Their yellow is not showing whatsoever on this live video, but having a lot of fun with them. And again, in the pot, spawning again. It's like the 6th spawn I've had since I've had this species for, I don't know, I want to say 2 months, 2 to 3 months. These guys are relentless. So I know at some point this 90-gallon tank is going to be insufficient to continue to house them the way that they are. I always like to have this male divided, an extra male divided on the left, you know, for a number of reasons. I use it with the Festae a lot. It just seems that the males in Festae are just really aggressive towards the females. And if they have another same species, or even in Festae's case, the Japhirum worked really well, they would flare up and pay attention to what's on the other side of the divider more than, you know, their own female. So I do like this method, and some point I'm going to have to probably upgrade this tank to at least a 5-foot 100-gallon maybe, and I could do the divided thing even longer. But you know, when these males get, I don't know, 14, 15 inches, yeah, that's I'm not going to be able to do that very well unless I give them an XL tank. So guys, I'm going to move to, I have 3 tanks lit up right now with lights on. I'm going to move to the Carpentis tank again. So I'll roll over there. If you guys want to see, that's terrible. Down here, since I got the lights on, I was feeding them brine shrimp. These are F1 Stalsbergi. That it's actually the number 2 and 3 batch. I combined them together because they were so close, and they're doing pretty good right now. And then Red Aslanum, Rio Nexapa, fry. All right, let's see here. How are we gonna do this? Again, these Carpentis, it is not showing their blue whatsoever. Kind of a shame. I wish the live videos were able to stream at higher quality, but let me get some water real quick here, guys. Voice is dying. I forgot the question earlier. Someone was saying they had internal parasites in some of their fish that they were keeping. I think rainbow cichlids, and one of the medicated foods, along with the Ken's metronidazole flake that I started doing recently. My buddy turned me on to this. Is this stuff right here? Anti-parasite quad flake. I think Everything Aquatics makes it, and it's got levamisole in it, I think, along with some garlic, and praziquantel, Epsom salt, and Yeah, I've been trying this stuff out. I don't know if anybody's had any success with that. Anyways, that was to address the earlier question. All right, Joseph. Are the female carpenters much different than male in size? Right now they are. I think when they were all younger fish, there wasn't that size difference, but a lot of these males are, I'd say, 7 to 9 inches, and you could definitely see size differences. These smaller ones, I'd say there's about 4 of them. Those are the ones that keep breeding and pairing up with males. Those ones, they're all female. Almost any of the smaller ones in the past, they would have gotten beat up, and I think those might have been the males. And so I would remove them, and I would heal them up, and then I moved them on to other people. I mentioned earlier that I'm thinking of doing something different in this tank because of the males' aggression towards each other. One or two people gave me a suggestion. I think I'm going to take that advice. They said to do a male-only tank, and that should hopefully cut down the aggression and the messed up fins and marks on them. So I think I'm going to try that out going forward. So I'm going to have to take out all the smaller, which should be females, and there might be a larger female mixed in there, and I'll have to identify that. But I want to see how that works, how the community setting works with just males, we'll see. You can see them squaring off with each other, and I think a lot of it is due to the females and fighting over them and breeding. So that male in the middle is the dominant one. He doesn't really have any marks on him, so he's looking good, but the other males, not so much. So I don't know if everybody answered earlier, but what's everybody's favorite species? Species right now, I guess. What's everyone's favorite? I answered the question. I think a couple others did. I want to hear what everyone's favorite is right now. Be interesting. I always like to see what new species I can add to my wish list, and maybe there'll be something worth looking into. Daniel said, always wanted the Haitian cichlid. Yeah, the Odos are pretty cool. I think a lot of the hobby could definitely use some fresh blood, I think. I've never actually kept them myself, but they are a stunning species. It looks like there's a couple different variants of them, at least. There's ones that get a really monstrous nuchal hump, and then there's others that get a kind of more subtle one. Yeah, there's something I would like to keep someday. I've heard that they can struggle from bloating issues, but I haven't experienced it myself. I've kind of stayed away from the more sensitive species. I've tried one or two, like the yellow labradins, and I just failed miserably. Lost them all. Thought about bean eye and the hidiensis, but with some of the bloating issues, I kind of skipped those species. So it definitely would be nice to try. I'd like to try bean eye, actually. That would be one of the more sensitive ones I'd try next, I think, if I was feeling risky. But Ray Lorenzo, how you doing, man? Cubans are my favorite right now until my Texas grow out. Yeah, Cubans. I love Cubans. Used to keep them and breed them, and yeah, I love the aggression. Little tiny Cubans that acting like Dovi or something. Yeah, they're really nice, and that's another one that I think the hobby could definitely use some fresh blood, at least in the U.S. I haven't seen any new blood brought in. I'd definitely be on my list to try something if we got some more of those, or even not. Maybe I like a lot of the ones I see out there, and they breed just like rabbits, and get a lot of fry from them, Aquarium fish enthusiasts, amen, says his are Cubans, Grammotis, and Paulini. Yeah, some of his new favorites. Yeah, definitely. Those three are amazing. And I think we were talking last time, the Grammotis really got me thinking about getting some of those. I think you have a really stunning male. I think I've seen in your video. Guys, go check his channel out. He's got a really nice male Grammoti. And I could definitely see myself trying them. I want to do it somewhat like he's done, and have him in a community setting, because the few times that I've tried Grammotis, man, they were super skittish and shy. Definitely need to have some other tough fish that can can take their aggression and also swimming out and about to allow them to be comfortable and not hiding the whole time. So definitely a cool species I'd like to get back into. And the Paulini, well, that would be nice for me to try those once. I never kept the species, so. A stunning black color. Oh, that's good to hear. Aquarium fish enthusiast said his Grammoti's doing good in the new community tank. Good so far. Hopefully his aggression isn't going to go overboard and start destroying some of the other fish. I've seen those just classic videos where the Grimodi's aggression is just nuts, you know, trying to take on fish much bigger than them. Part of what I want to see, but I don't want to see any fish get destroyed. But it'd be nice, and that's part of the reason I'm gonna probably make this change with the blue Texas here. Is I think the male's aggression are getting a little too hard on each other, and so removing the females might be the ticket to toning that down. So definitely got to try that. Probably make that change this week. We'll see. Let me switch back, guys. We'll go to the see if the Frederick style, I keep calling them the Freddies, the multifasciatus will come out for you guys. Everybody, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the Frederick Stahlite changed their name. I think it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, to the multifasciatus. Let's see if this male is going to come out. Still shy. This guy must be camera shy for you guys, sorry. Ray Lorenzo said, what are your thoughts on Texas and Carpentis, same or different species? Definitely a different species. I mean, I can give you one big example. You know, and where they're found geographically is different. The Carpentis that I have, you know, they're in 80-degree water, found in warmer waters. They need those waters, I believe. The Texas cichlid, I've kept outside for about 3 years. I don't have them anymore, but I kept them in my outdoor pond for about 3 years. And I originally acquired them because I was watching a fly fisherman on Instagram, consistently catch Texas cichlids, big Texas cichlids in Texas, in water that was like 30s water temperature, 30-degree Fahrenheit, probably a little bit higher because 30 would be freezing, right? And I started asking them if that's common and they do well in that water temperature. He said yes. And so it gave me the idea, well, my ponds are outside and I have no power in the corner that they're in. And so, you know, my only option are species that can take temperatures in the high 40s during the winter if I want to do them year round. And so I started with the true Texas cichlids in the 300-gallon pond. And they did great. They're super hardy. I had a pair in there for a while. They bred many times, countless times actually. You know, they had fry with them. So who knows how many batches of fry got eaten by the older fry. And they did really good, you know. And then during the summer, with the sunlight, I would have algae blooms and complete green water. And I learned that was probably the reason my pH spiked to 10.0 or higher, and they were still fine. You know, I mean, it's not ideal, but they are a very tough species. I highly doubt the Carpentis would be able to take those temps. I don't know. I've never tried it, but definitely, and then looks-wise, yeah, very different. Carpentis gets really bright blue coloration. You know, I have some older video of the Texas outside in the pond that I kept, and I would have to kind of pull them out and take a look at them. Noticeable differences. So, yeah, definitely. don't know if you guys saw that multifasciatus female. The female is in the upper right, and she's just extremely aggressive. She's guarding a bunch of fry. And she's keeping the male over here in the side of the tank. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna have them in this 150, but they'll eventually move back down to their bottom tank, which is also a 5-foot tank, 18 inches front to pattern with them over the years. I could never get them to breed. They were in part of the 240 for a long time, and kept the water super clean. Female would lay eggs on the bottom. Male would never fertilize them. That was over years. And then, I said, I was really into wanting to breed different species at that time. And so I moved them on to a buddy of mine, and he kept them in a much smaller tank, I think like a 65-gallon tank. Water changes were not very frequent, and they spawned consistently for him. And their fry grew out with them. And, I saw the tank. It wasn't kept clean by any means, but, I thought, what the heck? Why do they like those water conditions over really clean and weekly gigantic water changes? They just do not prefer that for spawning. The male doesn't. I don't know what it is. And so then, when I got the pair back, I put them into a 5-foot, 100-gallon on the bottom, bare bottom tank. That's what my buddy also did. He had a bare bottom tank. They don't get gigantic water changes, and they started spawning. So go figure. This pair just does not like the water change regimen that I do for most of my fish. They don't like substrate, whatever it may be. There's a certain combination that they prefer, and it's different than the rest of them. So let's see, aquarium fish enthusiasts, what do you think of, I can never say that name right, the butterfly zebra tilapia? Love the fish, but it's very aggressive. Have 2 juveniles now and trying again. Yeah, I've never kept them, but I've heard those are extremely aggressive, beautiful, and they get pretty large, I think, right? It's definitely something that I wouldn't know a lot about, but I would definitely be interested in seeing those updates on your channel to learn. So make sure you post them if you go that route. Try them out. So I got a question for everyone. Try to create some conversation here. What is the very next one species that is on your top of your list that you will get next, or you want to get next? What is that next species that in line to take place in your fish room? Let me know. Daniel Parks said he had a group of Carpentis, the Vontahilos, but that was about 10 years ago through Jeff Rapps. Huh. Yeah, those Vontahilos, I never kept that variant. or a collection point, but I know a buddy that does have them. They're pretty. I'm trying to remember how to explain the actual differences from like Escondidos or Rio Hondos, but I do remember them looking a tad different. But yeah, it's neat seeing different collection points brought in. So tell me, guys, what's your next species? What is the one next species that you are planning to get next, or you want to get next? I would tell you mine, but I already am working on getting them, and I want to make it kind of like a fish room update video, or a new fish video, I'm sorry. And so I'm going to hold back on that until I finally get them. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but besides that, those two species which are supposed to come in for me, I would probably say the next one after those is going to be the Rhytisma, Cribroheos Rhytisma, which I think are hard to breed, it looks like, in the hobby, but there's some people who have them for sure. So hopefully, fingers are crossed, someone can breed those and distribute some fry. I know Max Cichlids has them, so got some new ones from Panama. So Max, fingers are crossed. I hope you get it done, man. I'm on the list. Let's move back to the Trimax again, guys. Oh, and anybody who wants to see that circulation pump that I use, that's what it'll look like. And it connects to a hose. It's got the outlet, and on the other side of it, that's where I plug into the hose that goes into the tank side. So these things are really efficient. I highly recommend these. I think they're only like $60, 50, 60 bucks on Amazon. So, and if you guys are interested in making your water changes much faster, then give that a shot. So, aquarium fish enthusiast said, what do you think about the hybrids such as flower horns? You know, it's a very controversial question. Obviously, I keep, pure species, but me personally, I like, whatever makes you happy, go ahead and keep that stuff. I'm not one person to say you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, I think we all understand the argument that diluting or polluting pure species, let's say the Trimax, if someone hybridized them and then their labeling was confusing and people thought they were getting Trimax and passed them along as Trimax when they were actually hybrids, it might get very confusing, and that's a bad thing. I get that. As long as there's people are disciplined and respect that some things need to be labeled properly and some things can be dangerous in the hobby. I think it's okay. I personally don't keep them. It's not my thing. I also don't keep African cichlids or monster cichlids or a number of things. There's just so many different categories to get into someday. It's just this is what I'm into right now. So yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely very pretty. Some of the hybrids that are out there, I just not into them, keeping them myself right now. So hope that answered your question. Daniel Park said, I keep my tank solo, but I probably go with AA Gramotes. I keep my fish for years, only have one tank now with a female Feste. Prior to that was a creamsicle Midas I had for 8 years. That's a good chunk of time. That's pretty good. You could keep holding on to those fish that long. I respect that. I don't. Obviously, I move through fish sometimes very, very quickly, but I definitely admire people who can hold on to their cichlids for long periods of time. I think the oldest cichlid in my room right now is that male multifasciatus. I think total time I've kept him is probably only 4 or 5 years, but he's an old fish. He's a wild caught. And I would probably guess he's in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 years old, if I had to guess. There's no way of knowing for sure. I think his brought in wild caught, maybe in the 4 or 5 inch range to a buddy, and I got him from him a while ago. But yeah, if you can keep your cichlids long enough, you get rewarded with large size species that look just a little bit different than you see everybody else keeping, and I admire that. That's what I'm going for with like this Trimec, for example. I just want him to get that big, monstrous look, that you don't see very often. You see a few of those guys who kept them that long, and that's definitely the goal, to do that. Let's see, Ray. Do you think the red Dovi is a hybrid? Again, I'm not the authority. I don't know a ton about a lot of these topics, but from what I recall, I think it's a natural variant, kind of like an exanthic or color morph of, I believe it's the Costa Rican Dovi population. I could be wrong, where they were actually found naturally in the wild. A very tiny amount were found like that, but it is a certain population or collection point. It is a natural occurrence. That's my understanding, and I believe they were brought here into the hobby, into the U.S., and trying to basically isolate that gene. I'm not going to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but to basically create more red Dovi for distribution. But I don't think it's a hybrid. I have heard that there were ones that they tried to hybridize to make it in the past, but I think you get it from the right source more lately. You'll find actual red Dovi that are not hybrids. So that's my understanding, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think they're pure species. So, and I've also thought it was interesting. I've heard people talk about how, in the wild, something like a red Dovi that just looks so different stands out. You can spot that much easier. They might not last that long, being a target for, possibly fishermen or predatory species, and so that might be another reason why you don't see a ton of them. Maybe a lot of them get picked off and don't survive. And someone asked that about the Feste, I think the last session, where a really bright red female festae, are they likely to, survive in the wild? And I'm not really sure. I mean, with festae, if there are a ton of them like that, I mean, half of the population of festae are going to get red like the females. Maybe it's a different story, but for the red dovi, it may be a losing battle. I don't know. I've been to Costa Rica once, actually, for business trip and for surfing, and I remember taking the taxi down to the beach from the airport. I think it was San Juan, and seeing all those crocodiles in the rivers and whatnot. I was just saying, man, I want to stay away from that. So collectors who are going in there and bringing back fish, man, I applaud you. I was worried enough surfing in those waters because I hear the crocs actually swim out in the water. So not only, are sharks out there, you got these big crocs that, that could take your arm off or your life out there. So that's my only experience at Costa Rica, but I would love to see more on that, maybe even get out there someday and do the collecting thing, hopefully someplace without crocs, but. Oh, hey, Daniel Schultz, welcome from abroad. Thank you for stopping by. So Ray, I don't know if that answered your question about the red dovi, but not sure. Are you thinking about getting some? I've seen some pretty nice ones in the hobby. It seems like they don't get the same, I'm not sure, body structure, or maybe they just slower growers than the standard coloration dovi. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but again, I'm not the dovi guy. I've never kept them, but just from what I've seen. I know it got really popular a year and a half, 2 years ago when they first came in and everybody was getting them, and I don't see a whole lot of them. So I'm wondering what what the success rate in keeping those alive has been, or maybe people grew impatient growing them out. Maybe they were slow growers. Who knows? But I thought I would see a whole lot more bigger ones by now. Not sure. It's kind of the same story with Japhirum. There's a ton out there. The wild-caught's available. Various locations. Vendors selling them, and you don't see a lot of people posting them. And I think a lot of that could be because of the patience required. People get sick of them. I got sick of mine, growing them out. So I understand that. There's also aggression, being the Mesoheros, festae are aggressive. These are, very similar. And I also did notice with my Japhirum, they, actually maybe similar to festae, but more the Japhirum, they get these wounds when they start fighting. They get these open wounds that kind of a little bit more severe than your normal injury. I think maybe more susceptible to bacterial infections. I was healing multiple females, and it took a while, and some of those scars were permanent. So I'm not sure. Those could all be reasons why you don't see a lot of people posting their Japhirums, and may also be similar reasons or different reasons why you don't see a lot of the red dovi out there. Let's see. Aquarium fish enthusiast said Trimec is on my list. Hard to get in my area. Yeah. I hate that when it isn't the worst thing when you get interested in a species in the hobby, because obviously we have our tanks and they're all full with the species that we keep, and you want to get something in the future, And then the time that you actually have space available, that species is not available. Man, it's tough. You know, people, I think it goes in waves where, you know, maybe it's based around importers and collectors bringing different species in, and then maybe gets really popular for a little bit, and then no one wants to bring any more of those in because it's just oversaturated, and then you don't see them possibly for years, and then that's when you wanted them and you can't find them. That's frustrating. Stalsbergi were kind of like that. You know, I think they were available at some point, you know, and I was trying to get them and I could not get them for many years, and finally found a certain way I could get some, an importer, and hopefully they stay in the hobby, you know, even with their, hopefully there's not issues internally with the F1s, but yeah, I like to see stuff stay in the hobby longer. But I hope you can find some aquarium fish enthusiasts to get some Trimax over there. You know, it's a nice, really nice species. I'm loving them. And beautiful species, kind of personable. You know, I did that one video where I put my hand in the tank, and I'm not sure if I would do it. I want to keep doing it now, because it was when that one male was smaller, and you could feel, you could really feel his needle-like teeth. This male on the right, definitely bigger. I'm not sure what he would do if I went in there. And once the fry go free swimming, that might not be too fun. Probably wouldn't make me bleed, but you never know. Shall we move? I'm just kind of doing a 3-tank rotation here. Let's go back to Carpentus. Let me get some water real quick here, guys. Is there anything specific, guys, that you guys want to see? We're coming up on a 2-hour mark here. still here. Got freedom in the house, but just curious. Or anything specific videos, on certain species to make that I can plan for in the future. I think I'm going to probably do a pond update. It's getting closer to summer. Fish are more active out there. So I'm going to do that probably this week. But I'm always interested in hearing ideas, what might make good videos, and be welcome for whatever you guys want to see. So please don't be shy in speaking up. Also trying to figure out what the best format structure of the channel would be. I think I mentioned that. I just started doing the YouTube thing like this year, January. Prior to this, like all the prior years of YouTube was kind of just to store the videos because I don't have enough memory on phones, obviously, to keep the videos of my fish, and I like to look back and check them out. And so it's kind of just an archive of videos. But then a lot of people were asking to do more videos, longer videos, fish room update videos especially, and so then I just started doing that stuff and talking a little bit, something I never wanted to do, and never really wanted to make it about getting in front of the camera, and I don't think I'm a camera personality kind of guy. I just doing this to have fun, in the hobby, and talk to some good people like yourselves, and just enjoy the hobby better. I think we all can agree the hobby is much more fun when you have friends and people you're talking with on a normal basis, and yeah, it's fun. So structure of the channel, I'm still trying to see if that can be made better. I'm obviously, you could probably guess how I'm going about it is just I kind of do my monthly fish room updates, and I'll do my individual species updates where I try to make them look as nice as possible, lights on, show them off. Not really frequently, try to do when there's updates, and obviously the Trimex have been tons of updates, as they're growing and spawning every 2 weeks. And then I just started trying to throw these live videos in, which I kind of like them. I think it's fun. The interaction is really fun for me. I hope you guys like it too. It shouldn't just be about, me answering stuff, or, what do I do? I like to hear from you guys too, what your take is on stuff. I can learn a lot from everybody out there, just like I think we all can learn from each other. And so that's why I started doing the live videos, and at some point when I could figure it out, I'd probably do some kind of fry giveaways in the live videos. I'm not the best on this stuff, guys. I don't know how to go about that. So that would be something I got to research. Yeah, that's kind of my format. Those three type of videos: the fish room update, the individual species, and then the live videos. And I forgot, I do go to local fish shops. I like to support them and post videos of them, what they have available, because there's a lot of local guys here, and if they see certain species at certain fish shops that they have, that day, if I were to record the video, I think it really supports the fish shops, and it helps people out there find certain species they're looking for. So I guess those would be the 4 different videos that I make, but I'm definitely open to improving that, making better videos. So if you guys have any feedback, feel free to let me know. what would be better, what you guys would like to see more of. I think, oh, thanks. Alamo City said, keep up the great work. Thank you. You enjoy the videos and the streams. I appreciate that, man. Like, that feedback is going to help me know what I need to do. And yeah, I'll definitely take that good information and continue to do stuff people like, you know. If no one likes it, then what's the point of me doing it, right? And that's fine if no one likes it, you know. Try to figure something else out. But I appreciate the feedback there. Also trying to, if you guys have noticed, I'm trying to stagger and change the live video times so that, you know, it can, you know, people can be more available at least for one of the videos every now and then if I do them at different times. In the last live video, I think I did during the afternoon, late afternoon, and so this one I'm doing it really early. Possibly the next one I'll have to do really late, and this is my time, you know, do it late at night, just to maybe, you know, allow the opportunity more people to come in and, you know, so we can all talk, enjoy the hobby together. Daniel said, can you show us feeding your cichlids as you do the fish room update? Ooh. Yeah, Daniel, I could definitely, I'm trying to think about that. When I do my fish room updates, because I prefer doing them with the garage door open, the lights off. I can do it one video all the way through, usually. And watching them eat kind of with the glare, it might be a little tricky. I'll give that a shot because I'm also holding the camera at the same time. I tried doing a fish room update with the lights on, and it's really challenging because you know, the way the tanks are facing each other, and I obviously don't have lights galore to have on every tank on. I have to do a lot of video editing and do smaller clips and put it together. It makes it really tough. Plus, I do the individual species updates where I have the lights on for that one tank, and I think that's good to show the species off. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about if I'm able to do that feeding. Maybe I do the feeding in the individual species update. And that's definitely something to consider, but I appreciate your request and your feedback there. Could even talk about the foods. You know, got all Tupperware with all my foods in there. I can get into and show the food. You get that question a lot. What am I feeding my cichlids, and feeding them differently? You know, it's not all the same thing. I use a majority the same, but some definitely using different foods. So. Hey Daniel, where are you located again? I'm just trying to remember, and I apologize. You may have mentioned that in the previous live session. think it would be nice if next to the names in the comments, well, at least given an option to have your location, mentioned. Then we could all understand. For example, someone mentioned, I can't find enthusiasts from the same place could say, hey, well, guess what? I got some out over here. I know a guy who has them over near your area. So that might be a really neat function if, I don't know if YouTube could turn something like that on. Of course, it'd have to be an option, not a mandatory thing, but, or even you guys could, maybe preface that in your comments. Just put, location and then your question. At some point, maybe this grows to a size big enough with the live videos that it might be a networking kind of thing at the same time. I mean, imagine if we had 100 guys in these live videos, and we could use that as a place to find cichlids. Someone might say, I'm located here, I want to find this species and that species. Anybody know in my area someone? And then boom, someone might be watching, seeing that comment, and you could just say, hey, yeah, I got some out here for you. So I think you guys all know what I have available, and I'm in Southern California. I ship within the US, so please don't ever hesitate to ask me from my stock list. Daniel said, originally from Southern California. Okay, I think that rings a bell maybe. Now lives in Texas. Cool, man. Yeah, Texas. And I'm geographically, I'm not that wise, but where you're located in Texas, are there any opportunities to go, I guess it would be the Rio Grande, and maybe go catch some of those true Texas cichlids? I always thought that would be a cool little trip to go catch some of those. Like I said, the fly fisherman I saw on Instagram that inspired me to get some true Texas from my ponds outside, he was catching them left and right, and they look beautiful, and how cool would that be to catch some cichlids on a fly or a lure, especially if you're a fisherman type. I like to fish mostly ocean and stuff for tuna, but it would be a dream for me someday to go out and go collecting, maybe even on rod and reel, and collect some of the bigger fish. Umbies would be top of my list as far as fishing with rod and reel, but I would love to go to Uruguay. I think they used to arrange those trips down there to Uruguay, and they go collect some of those really nice Gymnogeophagus species, the Braziliensis, which I think are from down there, and it was nice for some of the guys to bring it back. I think Ken Davis was one of the guys, and I'm really enjoying those. But I would love to go out and collect and even fish for some of those. So I'm wondering if you could have that opportunity in Texas to go get them. Yeah, Alamo City said he's from San Antonio, Texas. We got two guys from Texas here. Wonder if you guys are catching any Texas cichlids. That would be awesome. I'd love to see a video of you guys doing that. Yeah, Daniel Schultz, maybe my translator didn't work here, but I wish I wasn't so typical American and only really understood English. So I apologize there. Daniel Park said, Alamo City, home of barbacoa and Big Red. I'm definitely a fan of barbacoa. I can tell you that. Oh yeah, Northern California, San Francisco Bay. That's right. I remember aquarium fish enthusiasts. I think you were asking for the Trimax, right? I definitely have small fry. I mean, they're getting of size where I usually won't put them on my stock list until about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. They're at half an inch right now, I think, and there's definitely been people who have asked for them earlier, so I've moved some of them out already. So if you ever see an opportunity to grow out some fry, don't hesitate to ask. And San Francisco Bay, I would definitely like to catch some salmon in the bay there. That's a trip I'd like to do. I hear it's pretty rough though at times. But as a fisherman, I want to experience every type if possible, every type of fishing. So ocean cichlids. Yeah, the true green terrors. Yeah, the gold salm is definitely more common in the hobby. I think everybody knows that. You go to most fish shops, you'll probably see them. Usually they list them as green terror, whether or not it's that history on what's the right green terror, the true green terror. You know, I don't usually get into that. But yeah, the Stalsbergy, definitely something that hasn't been widely available as of recent. Well, very recently they are now. But if you're ever interested in giving them a shot, I think I have inch plus fry right now in their first batch. So let me know. And Terry Allison was on earlier. He showed up and gave a little update. I think I shipped him fry. He was the first guy, and his are doing really well. I think he has a YouTube channel. Go back and check the comments and go look on his channel. But he's posted some updates on those Stalsbergy, I believe. And yeah, I'm hoping for big things with Terry's Stalsbergy fry, the F1s. So. We'll probably cut this off, guys, at the 2.5 hour mark. We got to do a few things today. I'm sure everybody does on a Sunday, get some stuff done. But another 13 minutes here or so. Don't be shy. Let me know if you guys have any questions or suggestions. Get up close and personal here. Alamo City Fishkeeper said, any hints on what the next species will be that I'm trying to acquire? I think that's the one I was saying. I should have already had them. It's just a matter of timing with my my buddy to allow him to ship them to me. I have the open tanks. You know what? I'm just gonna tell you that they're Cribro heroes. Let's just put it that way. Both of them. So you can narrow that down to, I'm not exactly sure how many species there are, 5 to 10 of them, and guess from there. And it's not Rhytisma. That's the one where would probably go to the top of the list if I ever saw some available. Fingers are crossed. But yeah, they are a Cribro Heroes. So yeah, trying to do the Cribro Heroes thing next. They're definitely species I've never kept. So yeah, I see how the male is a little bit tattered up, fins. Definitely something I want to try to fix the situation in here. And you know, they always kind of heal up and get better, but if possible, I'm going to try to eliminate that. So I'm gonna try to do males only community tank here, guys. See if I can tone down that aggression. Looking forward to videos to come. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making them, definitely. Yeah, you guys see how it's just a constant fighting for females? It's like that little one right there is a female. She doesn't have any nicks or anything on her. And this male is trying to win her over. This male was just trying. It's entertaining, very entertaining. But I think at this point, with the size of them per the 180 gallon tank, it might be best for me to switch up the strategy here. Last thing I like to do is have my fish get beat up. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you start losing fish, which, knock on wood, I've never lost any Carpentis in this strategy so far, but I definitely can do better. And I think a male community will be the way to go here. Oh, hey, Matthias, how you doing? From Brazil. Go Brazil. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's go back to the Trimax, guys. I know you guys are coming in waves, and like I mentioned, I'm kind of alternating tanks. I have 3 tanks that have lights on, so let's move around. I'm also rolling around in my noisy chair here, so sorry for that. And there we go. Back to the Trimax. There are a lot of New World cichlid keepers out in Brazil, Matthias. I mean, obviously, you guys have access to some amazing species out there. I'm wondering how popular it actually is, you know, because sometimes, you know, just because you have cichlids around the area doesn't mean you keep them. I think in Ecuador, you know, the Feste, I see people I think they rely on them for a food source, and so you might not see a lot of people keeping Festae in the tanks when that's what primarily they're used for. So it's always neat to understand how the hobby is in other countries. So. Well, thanks, Matthias. I appreciate you following the Facebook page, and yeah, guys, if you ever, I do most of my updates on the YouTube as far as videos. I have the Instagram page, which I will, put shorter videos, mostly pictures. And the Facebook page is the same way, mostly pictures and maybe some shorter videos. But no, the majority of the content's going to be on YouTube. It's hard to go to 3 different platforms or more, and just upload the video on each one. It's just incredibly time consuming. So try to narrow it down to one central one, which in the end is going to be YouTube, and that's where you can find most of the stuff. So it would be cool to get more subscriptions on YouTube to centralize everything. Makes it easier for me. So. Hey, thank you, aquarium fish enthusiast. Yeah, you found me on Instagram, and I definitely, in an attempt to unify the platforms or where I post most of my stuff, I definitely sent out some messaging to people that I know would appreciate the channel and maybe weren't aware that I had the YouTube thing going, because I just started this year, realistically, going at it pretty strong. So yeah, I've reached out to some people through messaging. I think maybe the next live video, I'll probably have the what do you say, the Braziliensis tank. I'll have that one lit up. And maybe the Festae tanks. Braziliensis, Festae, 2 groups of the Festae, and then maybe I can show the VA Hessenspilum with the little tyrant of a fire mouth. Maybe those would be a good 3 tanks to do it on. You guys let me know. I think I'm going to probably do more live videos if I have the time. It's just a lot more fun, interaction, rather than just me posting a video. But I definitely will still do the fish room update video and the individual species stuff. So I'm just going to add more live videos in here. So. Daniel Park said, hold on, there it is. Daniel Park said, how did you get into fish keeping? Daniel got into the hobby back in '99 when he joined the Navy and really got into it, and he was a monster fish keeper soon after. That's cool, man. '99, that's you got a lot of years under your belt. Me, I think right now I'm 43 years old. I got into it when I was about 10 years old. And my dad got me into it. He had Oscars when he was younger. And so it was funny, parents were trying to incentivize me to do well in school and good grades. And so I was really into like frogs and newts and stuff like that, little crabs, and at that time. And so they incentivized me when I did well in classes, and if I finished a book report, they would buy me a frog or buy me a fish. And there was this chain back then. I'm not sure if everybody remembers. So what is that? 33 years ago, back in late 80s, right? Petland. I don't know if anybody remembers Petland, but there was a Petland near where I lived, my parents' house, and if you sign up for Petland as a member, you get a free fish of the month. And so I had like green tree frogs, firebelly toads, the newts and stuff, and I wanted to get some fish because I get a free fish of the month. And one of the first fish I got was, I think, a Texas cichlid. I also, what else did I get? I got convicts through that free fish of the month. Various African cichlids I tried. I didn't know differences between this. I didn't know much about cichlids back then. And so I think it was only a 30-gallon tank, and I had it about half full. And I had a rock that would come out of the water, and I would have, I had a waterfall from an aqua clear. I had a undergravel filter. Those were popular back then for filtration. And then, so on top of that rock, I would have a firebelly toad that would live, because they need to, they can swim, but they need to live out of water. On the walls, I had a green tree frog, because I was really into frogs. And then in the water, because I had a free fish of the month, the very first fish I got was a Texas cichlid, and they don't give you much information at Petland about, the temperament or how the fish is going to be. It did fine when it was just a Texas cichlid. It never messed with the frogs, but every other fish of the month that I got and I added, the Texas cichlid killed them. So obviously at 10 years old, 11, I wasn't too knowledgeable about what to do. Petland didn't help me in teaching me what I should do, which is sad, because I think that still happens at fish shops sometimes. They just want to make the sale. They're not cautioning you about what tank size to keep fish in and what fish not to add with it. So yeah, I killed every fish of the month after that, until I got rid of the Texas. At one point, I did a full tank of just an Oscar, a single Oscar, and I loved that Oscar. It was I believe a red Oscar. Just begged for food. The tank was right next to my bed, so every time I woke up, he was just like a puppy dog. I love that Oscar. And at one point, I did convicts. I eventually had 3 tanks in my bedroom as a young kid. I couldn't be happier. Thank my dad for allowing that. And so yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And I've always loved pets and fish and all that stuff. Really cool story. I eventually, after college, I moved to Japan to do some. I taught English basically for 2 years over there as a job, and I lived in a really small town in Kumamoto, and it's mainly like village type area. No foreigners. Exactly what I wanted, because I wanted to be immersed in the environment and learn Japanese and the culture. And they had so much different stuff there than we do here in Southern California. I mean, these gigantic spiders, these snakes, and all kinds of wildlife that you never would have, you never would see just being stuck in California your whole life. And I would go to the rice fields, and there'd be newts in the rice fields when they would have water in there. There would be green tree frogs at nighttime all over the lit up vending machines when I go to buy my, my 40 ounces of beer in a vending machine. It was just, I loved it, little green tree frogs everywhere on the vending machines eating bugs because it attracted the lights. It was great, a great experience, but I've always kind of, loved, aquatic life, frogs, fish, all that stuff. So sorry for the long story, but it's kind of where I got started back in the 80s with fish keeping. So Matthias said he didn't know there was an Instagram page too. Yeah, go check it out. I think that's probably my biggest following, coming up on 20,000 followers. So yeah, check that out too. I post pictures and stuff there. Obviously with the YouTube, there's no pictures really, being posted. It's all video. So yeah, check that out. Ethan said he got into fishing in 2015 first, and then that quickly transformed into fish keeping, and also soon joined Monster Fish Keepers. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but fishing and fish keeping, they just seem to tie in well together. When I fish, I fish mostly for tuna, in the ocean, and if there was a way for me to keep a smaller species of tuna in a tank, I think that's what I would be keeping. I understand it's saltwater. Saltwater is very delicate, but I have such a passion and love for tuna my whole life, or yellowtail or mahi-mahi, those kind of species I love, all get way too big for keeping in any tank that a normal hobbyist could keep, of course. I would definitely do something like that. If there's a smaller species of tuna, that would be a dream. I don't know if anybody gets to go out to or has made their way out to Monterey Bay Aquarium up in California, but that is, to me, I could spend days there. They have an Outer Banks tank which has, I believe, 100 to 400 pound tuna, yellowfin, bluefin tuna, mahi-mahi. I mean, I could watch everything in there for, I could live there. I mean, it's amazing. So, but, fish keeping, we can't have realistically a tank big enough to keep a lot of that stuff, obviously. So, cichlids are definitely the most I can really do. Matthias said, I started creating Texas, but finding pure Texas here in Brazil is very difficult because red Texas around here is in fashion. Yeah, the red Texas thing is, the hybrid thing is very popular. They look beautiful. I think it's hard to deny that. But yeah, it's a shame you can't find some of the pure species like the true Texas out there. Ethan said he'd love to move out to Florida and catch cichlids and other species. Yeah, Florida. Oh man, that would be also a dream. A place in Florida where you could have your fish outdoors, not have to worry about heaters, and have massive vats or ditches with basically ponds. And how cool would that be? My outdoor ponds are limited to right now just basically 2 species. The Braziliantis, which can take high 40s. The Gymnogeophagus, I think they're Terra purpura, or the SP El Norte, those guys. So very limited options what I can keep in my outdoor pond unheated. But Florida, man, the options just are just so open down there. That would be nice. Yeah, you could do one. You could do it in one day. Matthias said, Oscar is an incredible fish and very easy to find around here. Yep, the Oscar, definitely a great species, and for one of the few that started the passion for cichlids for me, at least, along with the convict who, when first bred, man, that was something to experience when you're 10, 11 years old, and you have a breeding convicts and all these fry. I mean, you're just so excited, and still you get excited, at 43 when I get a batch of fry. So keep the passion alive for cichlids. Ethan said, I want to keep everything, but I'm glad I can still be satisfied with just convicts. You don't always have to go all out with a hobby. I agree with you, Ethan, 100%. I think it's like, keep it simple. There's a point where you keep too much or too many tanks where it gets too much of like a job rather than love for the hobby. And the care that you can give each of those tanks and fish, it decreases. And so you got to have that balance, for some people it's 10 tanks, maybe 10 different species. Some people it's one. And you should do what you love, what's best for you. And that's the most important thing. And what's best for the fish too, right? So a lot of factors to consider. I've done that as well. Earlier on, I tried to keep as many species as possible, a lot more communities with tons of species, and might not have been best for the fish. And I toned it back, and I went towards more just keeping a single species in a tank rather than mixing. I think it was better on the fish. I lose a lot less fish. And at some point, I might have to tone it back how many tanks I keep, to keep that passion alive and to keep the level of maintenance, manageable. So I just know right now for me, I'm kind of pretty comfortable and optimal where I'm at. About 20 something tanks. Like I mentioned, I can do all my maintenance, normal maintenance in a week. I do in about a 2 to 2.5 hour period. It takes to do all my water changes. So it's working for me. It's not really a chore. It's not too much. And so I'm good where I'm at right now, but might want to lower that in the future. I could tell you definitely when I get my 2 dream tanks, the first one of which is going to be that 300 gallon. That's going to go right where I have an open space. But the goal, the last dream tank is going to be, I think it's a 600 gallon, 8 foot by 4 foot front to back, by about 30 inches tall. I'm not sure what that comes out to in gallons. That will be the big dream tank. And that when I get that, it's going to replace a 240 gallon. It's going to replace this 90 gallon that you see right here. It's going to replace 3 10 gallons underneath this 90 gallon. It's going to replace a rack of 40 breeders. So it's going to be one tank taking out 3, 6, 7 tanks. So there goes 6 tanks out of my fish room to get the one dream tank. So there'll definitely be downsizing in the future, just so I can have a few bigger tanks to enjoy and do some different things. You guys are watching the Trimax. Haven't seen it already. This female is just sitting on a pot of eggs, and they look all fertilized except for very few white ones. So I think there's going to be a huge batch of fry in here very soon, and expect this male to get really aggressive, and I think he's going to switch to breeding dress more so than he is now. Still got that yellow coloration, but I expect him to get a little dark. So that's coming very soon, and I think there'll definitely be an update video on that. So all right, guys, I said I was going to keep it to 2.5 hours. We went a little over. Maybe I'll do another 10-15 minutes and just round it out at 3 hours. Anything else you guys want to talk about or discuss for this session? Actually, right after this video, I'm going to be doing a water change on this tank. For whatever, I don't like to see the crap on the bottom. You know, I try to get that out of there. So this male will probably, we'll see if he goes crazy on the siphon. And if you guys ever, if you guys are doing updates, fish updates and stuff, and please feel free in here to mention that you guys, you know, looking for subscribers for your channel. You got some good content you want to share. I would love to sub and follow, and I'll turn notification bell on. Always looking for more fish type channels to follow. You know, that's the whole reason, one of the big reasons I'm doing this is, you know, back when I started getting into this at this level with a lot of tanks, I was watching a lot of fish room update videos from people, really nice, good channels, and I really appreciated the work people did to post consistent updates, and it just made me feel like, you know, you see all your fish every day, and it's really fun to go and see, you know, like a buddy's fish room, you know, every once in a while. It's just like brand new fish. It's totally different than you're used to seeing from your own. And when you got the update videos on a YouTube channel that does them regularly, you get excited, and you look forward to seeing those updates. And you know, even live videos. I never got to experience live videos from those channels in the past. I would have definitely joined in and, you know, interacted. I think it would have been a really cool experience. So this is probably the biggest reason I'm doing a lot of this, is because I think it's I think a lot of people like that stuff, you know, in the hobby. It allows you to see other fish frequently and interact, and, you know, we're all interested in the same hobby. So please feel free to post your channels in the comments in this video. We'll talk about that, get people to subscribe, and get your channel going, and hopefully make it worth you guys making content of your own if you like that thing. If not, then no big deal at all either. Just keep showing up and you know, interact here. It's more than enough for me. Okay, guys. Well, I think this is winding down here. Appreciate everybody who stopped by and interacted today, even if you didn't comment. Thank you for stopping by and watching at least a portion of the video, and hope you guys continue to like these live videos. I'll continue to keep doing them going forward, yeah, I'll on the agenda this week, I'll hopefully do a pond update and see what's going on outside in the ponds. Kind of, you don't get to see a whole lot. You got a bird's eye view, and so I like to, check up on the fish, make sure they're healthy. Usually requires me netting them out, and I'll get some good video and pictures and show you what's going on out there in the ponds, as well as for me myself to know. I'll definitely, or you guys can definitely look forward to that video. I'll commit to that this week, and hope you guys like that. And I think there was another comment. Let me just make sure here. Ethan, Daniel, thank you very much, guys, and hope you guys have a good Sunday. And until next time, take care, guys. Bye.